Well, good morning, everyone. Welcome aboard Flying with Mike. Want to thank you for taking a little bit of your Friday out for us. No, those of you out in Europe, you're rapidly closing in on that end of the day, if it's not already here, and your Friday night has begun the weekend. Hallelujah. Uh, I unfortunately have to work tomorrow, but so it is. But anyway, we are here in Charlotte, North Carolina. We've been here quite a bit here lately, but today we're going to go a little nostalgic. Although the aircraft's not nostalgic, so I'll be honest, I don't really see them in the air that much, but I know the type is still around. The airline is very much nostalgic. Piedmont. Now, many of you are going, never heard of them. Correct. You probably haven't. Heard of U.S. Airways, though, haven't you? Okay, if you haven't heard of them, have you heard of American? All right, there you go, folks. There's a little bit of history going forward. American was bought out by U.S. Airways. So let me give you another quick tip. U.S. Airways was bought out by America West. But for U.S. Airways to exist, you had Piedmont, Allegheny, PSA, I'm not certain of any others, that came together to form US Air, which would become US Airways. And then eventually bought out, like I said, by America West, which there's a lot of, if you're into histories with unions, um, there's a lot to that particular takeover that happened. A whole bunch. More so than the TWA American buyout, which occurred earlier than that. Um, this one with U.S. Airways and America West was was definitely an interesting one when you think about the entities involved. So we're not getting into the legal beagle mumbo jumbo of unions versus the parent companies. We're going to have fun flying this aircraft to Tampa, Florida, out of Charlotte. Cloudy Charlotte, but nonetheless, we're going to take her out. And why I say I don't see this variant much anymore, it's the 767 200. I've seen the 300s all over the place, be it freight and in passenger. I think American still has a whole litany of them. But the 200 is a more harder animal to find. So this actually did fly with Piedmont, flew with TWA. Probably American and a whole bunch of legacy airlines. But anyway, folks, this is what we have for you today. We're on the line, and you are more than welcome to join us. We're in Charlotte, VATSIMing to Tampa, kind of going around to Stormfront. So let's hop up in the office, get us a pre-flight, and then get us going, shall we? And I have been told we could have commercials starting any minute, so we're just going to go, folks. If a commercial break pops here, you always have YouTube available for you. This will be up later today or tomorrow. There won't be any streams over the weekend. One, I'm working tomorrow, so that's next to impossible. And Sunday, a lot going on here. It's Mother's Day here. If I get a stream in, it will be very late at night. So Monday is the possibility of another stream. So probably going to push this off to tomorrow. All right, folks. So we are in that commercial break. About a minute and a half. We'll get our peeps back here, and we'll continue on. But we're going to go right into this um, pre-flight so we can get the bird going, because I do have some things pressing on me that I do need to get to this afternoon. But I have time to get this in, and hopefully we can do a good wrap up with it. All right, now for those of you here, you know what? Hang on a second. There you go. All right, so just letting folks know, hey, if you don't want the commercials, you can always subscribe. We'd love to have subscribers, folks. We love that the original Godspeed. And for the love of God, I can't remember what he goes by now. Hang on, Nerd with Wings. There it is. Um, graciously donated 5 subscriptions, so I hope those individuals keep going on, and I hope they enjoy the little time away. We'll be up here and ready to do the pre-brief. So, but thank you so much for subscribing to the channel. And those of you coming back from the break, thank you for sticking around. We sure appreciate you. If you're new, smash that follow button so we can have you along on future trips. We have some interesting ones coming. Trips to like Cyprus, Salt Lake City, and working out the details of another flight. Just haven't figured it out yet. All right, so as you can see, Sim Toolkit's up. That's the animal we pre-brief with. I like it because of its tools to help us once we get there in learning how to improve our landings. Seeing the numbers, seeing where we touch down, and then trying to decipher how did we do, overall. Let alone throw in this nice little tool right here, the toggle replay mode. You guys can't see that, but anyway, built into X-Plane is a great utility called replay mode, where anywhere in the flight you can replay the flight. I like it especially for landings because you can really, where did I flare? Where, how did I do on the approach? Visually looking at it, and then with Sim Toolkit, numbers, or as I like to say, metrically. How did the metrics come out on it? All right, so here we are, Charlotte. Payload. We're going out of here with 133 peeps, 7,300 pounds of cargo. Some of that is baggage. And the routing today is the BV6 to JENDO, MAVRC, TEEEM, TEUFL, BAAMF, days. So, nice trip. All in all, I believe we're just under, I actually have that number. I put it now. Doggone it. I love when I put these things in it, and then when oh, here it is. Just at about 450 miles. All right, so again, 30,590 pounds of payload. Zero fuel weight at 213,941 pounds. The rampers will be putting in 23,567 pounds of fuel to bring us up to a ramp weight of 237,500 pounds. Seems heavy, but overall it's not, folks. We can take a whole lot more. Folks, we can go to Europe from here. But there's a lot more room for a lot more fuel. So overall, we'll fly at a cost index of 50 at 34,000 feet. Pretty decent flight ahead. Weather-wise, you can kind of see it's a bit frightful on the way. So that's the way and the reasoning for the routing. 2971 for the barometric pressure. I don't know if that's right now. As of 13:52, 2 hours ago. Winds are out of the north west at 5, 10 miles visibility, and we have a scattered layer of clouds at 1,000 feet, and a broken layer at 13,000 and 25,000. Overall, not bad here. Tampa, on the other hand, for the most part, a Florida day. Winds out of the west at 7, 10 miles visibility. Some pesky clouds at 2,100 feet to contend with. Scattered layer at 4 is another scattered layer at 4,800. So overall, not a bad rundown to Florida. I'm going to go ahead, set us up on VATSIM real quick here. I already know I'm going to have to put it in, so stand by. Oh, and I just realized another piece of equipment I didn't get readied. We'll have to do that here in a second. It's a TopCat. Hang on a second, I gotta add something because rarely do we use this. Oh, did I get rid of it? I got rid of it. Doggone it. Oh well. Well, we'll just have to wing it, as they say. All right, and well, while we're talking about it, I'll show you what I got to do to get TopCat ready to go. Okay, there's TopCat. You know what? I don't know if I use that for this aircraft. No, I don't. Well, then I don't have to worry about it. Cool. All right. Yeah, well, I thought I did. But I just realized it's a 300 freighter in ER. I don't think there's a 200. I'm going to check in the background here. Hang on just a second, folks. No, just freighter, 300, and a 57. Okay, well, cancel that. Won't be using TopCat today. All right, well, that's good. So let's get this bird on the way, shall we? We'll deal with it as we get to that point. Don't worry, folks. Where TopCat comes in handy is in the FMC when you're doing the performance portion, getting your V speeds and stuff like that. They don't have a 200 profile default. I know there's one out there. I just got to remember where to go get it. It's been a long time since I had to search for it. All right. So for the checklist, what I use is just a very simple download. Go to your preference of search engines, Flight Factor 767 300ER. I use the checklist 2.7, and here's how you'll know what it looks like. Just like this. All right, and we have already hooked up the HPU. Now we're not using the high pressure unit, but the GPU, ground power, fuel truck, chocks. Gate is attached, the air conditioner's hooked, doors are open. Let's load the plane, do our maintenance, optimize, just following this down, shall we? All right, most of that, folks, can be found in two places, either here under plugins or pilot's left knee. There's the tablet right there. We'll just do that for now since we're there. Okay, go over to ops, select ground. There you go, chocks. LSU, that's your baggage users, and load, I don't know what L, luggage. SU, whatever that could be. GPU, ground power, fuel truck, gate configuration. All that's saying is if that's ticked, then the requirements no longer require the stair or the passenger buff. If that's open, like waste unit here, the dot, then you got to have those two in order to load the people on. Okay, makes sense when you think about it. You got to have stairs or a means for the people to go from the terminal to the plane. You also got to have the baggage loaders to put the cargo on, and you also have the fuel truck to bring the fuel in. Okay, chocks to keep the plane in place. All makes sense. Just kind of you go, huh, okay. All right, so for today we set 133 peeps. Okay, now I'm going to zero this out. And we're going with 20, 23, 5, 6, 7. Okay. We'll do maintenance first. That way all the maintenance is successfully performed, says right here at the bottom. And then here's what our loadout is going to look like. And then we optimize the CG so it's in a better location. All right, 133. Now, before I go any further, make sure the zero fuel weight here matches whatever tool you use out there to build your flight plans. In this case, we're aiming for 213,941 pounds. Put that in your $1 million calculator. Then you want to subtract what you're showing right now. 580. So we are 9,361 pounds off. Guess what? That becomes this number. And there, lo and behold, your zero fuel weight is now equal. Cargo version, folks, real quick, we're not delving into it because this isn't cargo. Your pallet number is pallets on the plane. However, each pallet you add is 9,800 pounds. So what I do, take my payload expected, in this case 30,000, divided by 9,800, and then put that as my pallet, and then whatever is left over, put it in the cargo or bulk, I forget what it says, and run with it, and get that zero fuel weight up. All right, and that's the guy saying, I want to talk. Will you let me talk? No. Let's optimize one more time just to be safe since we added cargo. And our CG looks good. All we got to do now is click load. And look, it starts loading for us. All right, so we're going to continue on. We don't have to keep this up, but we'll hear it kind of in the background. You'll hear some clamoring like pallets going on. You know, that's how you people sound back there when you get on a plane. Like pallets banging up against the plane. Just kidding. No. So anyway, we're loading. It'll stop, and that noise in the background you may hear, it too will stop. The easiest way to tell, come up here to your fuel when it reaches 23,567 pounds or 23.6 or 0.5, we're done. Real easy. All right, enough of that. All right, so the parking brake. I'd say look at the ECAM, but the ECAM is flooded with information right now, so it's pretty useless. But we can come down, look, and levers pulled, lights on. Battery on, obviously, everything's on here. Standby power, external power, and your bus ties are all set up. Otherwise, you would not get to see all of this nice information. But your battery switch is there, standby power there. Bus ties, utility bus ties. Now, do not open these and click these. Just click so that you get the on with the off still outside. They come on automatically with the engines. If you touch them, you gotta do maintenance. Okay. Then we'll check our wipers, they're off, and our emergency lights, they're armed and guarded. We would not want them to fall into the wrong hands. All right, so make sure your lighting's the way you want position. I don't turn the wing lights on the ground except for when they're doing well, I wouldn't, except I don't fly these things. I sound like I'm a 767 jock, you know, I know what's going on. No, not really. But I would only turn it on during the inspection. Left, center, and right IRS. We're going to set that now. Actually, let me go ahead and turn my windshield heat on. our IRS to align each one of them. So we see on DC, that's right here, then it'll say align. At least Boeing gives some reason for why it is the way. Left, right, center. Airbus, 1, 2, 3. I guess that's how they count in Europe. I don't know. I'm just kidding, guys in Europe. I really don't know why. Now, one little tip, folks, with any aircraft, make sure your display selector, if you have one, you turn it to heading/status you'll find on some, or just STS. Why? Because we love you. No, because it'll tell you up here in the display window how many minutes till you're aligned, which means you need to have that coordinates in to the FMC really before then. Some aircraft are forgiving. I don't think this one is. LDS was not forgiving on that. You were pretty well toast if you didn't get right away. So I'm not certain on this one. But once you have a line here, switch these to nav. That way it will automatically align once the countdown's over. Not the final countdown, but the countdown. All right, however, this checklist that I have takes us straight to the FMCs. All right, so first thing we do, check the ident page. We're running with Pratt's. AirNAC cycle's good till next week on the 16th, and it will update for those of us that like to keep things up to date. Look for it on the 16th next week. This is the current version Flight Factor has out there, 1.6.12. As of February, I think, was it March? Anyway, it's been there a while. They like to take their time and not just every beta fix it. No, they wait and come out. Just like they've been saying soon on the 777. Trademark, we know. All right, so go to position and ish. What's your airport you're at? KCLT. And now, other Boeings, I would go to page 2 and look for the GPS coordinates. They're not here. Another tip you can do here, folks, if you run NavGraph charts, I highly recommend this, but you got to pay for it, so I get it. It's your call. But here, as you can see, come down, get to Charlotte charts, taxi, parking gates. Oh, I need parking gates. Wait a minute. We are in the vicinity of, is it C10 or C12? I don't remember if we're going to get numbers or not. Judging by it, I will say C12. All right, go to chords. Concourse C. So we're at 8, 10, and 12. So if you take this number and check it, 13.1, 80, 56, 4, you know, that's really good enough. We're going to take it. That's one way. You could change this, folks. I really don't know how to change it. I'll be totally honest with you, but it will narrow you down. You're only off by 0.1. The rest of it's dead on. Oh no, on both. So anyway, it would just narrow you down. Airbus, fantastic how it works. Love it. All right, so we're going to go here. Unfortunately, they did not do any razzmatazz here with SimBrief, so you got to kind of do it yourself. The only razzmatazz you could do is download the flight plan into Flight Factor's co-route, I think it is, folder, or routes folder. But anyway, so we'll just put the flight in. We haven't done that in a while. What the heck? Why not? PAI 1161 is our flight. Okay. I left charts up here for a reason, folks. First thing I'm going to do is pull this out, move it right down to about right here. And what we're going to do, we're going to build this route up, plain and simple. So, okay, so we need to get our BV6 departure off runway 18 left. Make sure we lined up right. 8 left. Okay, yeah, that is a 8,600 foot runway. Perfect. We're not going far. So if we were going to Europe, I would really be aiming for this one. Okay. This would be the preferred longer runway. 18 left, BV6, and we're going out to, I think it's JENDO. Here, I'll help you all out. There you go. It's in the chat room, JENDO. All right. That takes care of the departure. Back to route. Now, I do need to do one thing here. I hope you'll be able to see it. All right. What we're going to do is move this knob to plan, this one up to about 20, 40. I think I'm set at 40 right now. So that way we can see how our route transitions. All right, so route, next. Okay, so you can see U-Chang, and let's look at the BV real quick. So the goal is we're going to take off, fly runway heading vectors to U-Gang, BV, Andes, JENDO. Okay. You can't see that yet here. Okay, I'm just going to tell you that. You will not see that here yet. However, next on the roundup is MAVRC, or MAVRC. RC. Then after that, TEEM. Gotta love some of these. TEEM. Next page. TEUFL. TEUFL. And then BAAMF, it looks like. And I'm reading off the map book, so that's why I know you all have the luxury of looking in the chat easily. I'm working right off the chart. All right, BAAMF starts the Dades 1 arrival. So we'll go to departure, arrival, look for Tampa, click arrival. Now we're going to do the Dades, BAAMF. We're coming in, I believe, 19 left with no transitions. So I just physically selected ILS 19 left without really looking at it. I know we're going to come over to Bucks and down. Now, I could have selected the RNAV. Let's look at Dades real quick, shall we? BAAMF coming down to Dades and over. Sometimes it will tell you specific runways. So this one in this case is all runways, and it's an RNAV. Okay, so we'll go ahead, plan the ILS. what that just did by me clicking that, connected the dots in a way. So we'll end up here headed to Bucks. Okay. All right, so now will be the time. Go back to route. Next page, next page. Oh, how about we do this? Let's just go to legs. And we're going to actually look at this as best we can with everything we have. So there's where we are. Remember, we're vectors to U gang. We're looking for discontinuities. We already know of one, and anything out of order. The vector does go 4,960 miles unless you connect it. It will not affect your fuel though when you go through that. JENDO. Oh, wait a minute. I did that wrong, folks. Sorry. Step, BV, Andes. JENDO, MAVRC team, TEUFL, and BAAMF. We'll just close this discontinuity right there. Usually we get an execute. Don't know why we didn't. And step our way on. Okay, now we can be looking at the dates. Corey, Capo, Edison, Oline, Harvey, and Coco, Dades, Lizard, Jackball. All right, now Jackball's another vector. This is when approach may keep you going due west, or they may slide you down toward Bucks. Let's pull Bucks up. Okay, no discontinuities. Bucks promise. Oh wait, we got to be on the 19 left, and then the runway. All right. Now, if we step it off, it'll probably take us out to Gibbs, which is our missed approach point, and then we're good to go. All right, so that takes care of that. The plan is in. It looks good. We're good and ready to go. There we go. Now, next up, we go to the route page. We put it in, activate, execute. Now I'm going to take this back to ARC for a second, let you see up here. Let me pull, see if it's going to be easily visible. Okay, you can see we've aligned in that meantime. Okay, we've got our PFD and everything looks good. There's our routing. We'll go direct UCANG when we're in the air. All right, so next up we do performance. Well, first off, let's do an activate, execute. One more look at the legs without stepping. And again, no discontinuities. Good. All right, go to the perf int. There isn't a lot to this like the 737. So you go straight here, put your zero fuel weight in, your fuel weight's there, your gross weight's there. How do we figure this one up, folks? Do we all remember? I'm hoping. Oh, good. It's here. Okay, this is in what's called the Lido format. So if you go into Sembry, folks, set up a flight plan, generate, go, and there is a little box you could change that says OFP, and you don't change it. This is how your format comes out for the flight plan. Operating flight plan format. Okay, OFP. Here's our flight information, speeds, and all that good stuff here, weights and such. Alternate. Oh, fuel. Hang on a second. We just went to commercial break. going to be about a minute. I'm going to keep going. If they want additional information, they can get it from YouTube. But anyway, what I do, folks, come down here. You're going to see FMC info. What I do is this one right here, final reserve FinRes plus alternate ALTN. Okay, so that's saying I need my 45 minutes of fuel. That's FAA rules. I also got to be able to make it to my alternate. Yeah, that's kind of nice if you can't make it into Tampa. In this case, it's Miami, Florida. So that's a little bit of a hump. So in the tune of 6,600 pounds of fuel, plus our 45. Oh, this was 30, by the way. So this one's actually off. So we'll go with it at 10.3. All right. Oh, it didn't click in. There it goes. Now, our cruise for today, I believe, is 34. Hang on a second. Is it right up here? Yeah, 34 right there. 3, 4, 3. Cost index we set of 50. Again, right there. And then our winds as of 1441 was 262 at 64. And I'll go ahead set it, but we will probably not step climb, not this short of a flight. Okay, that is the basics for your performance, folks. We don't have a thrust page like the 737. So we just go to takeoff. And I do that real quick. And I do both pages, just so you know. Here's where Top Cat would come in if we were in the 737-300. All right, so I don't right now know of a thrust setting, so we'll just go take off whatever. So I'm going to go to page 2. Next page, wind on your runway, winds by your winds and knots. Currently, Charlotte is reporting as of, let me try METAR variable. I hate that word. Maybe we can get lucky on SkyVector. No. So, you know what we could do? 200 diagonal 4. Probably wrong, but we'll put it in there. Slope is what, oh, I know another way. Let's see if it changes. Okay, slope is down 0.3. So you just follow this. It says U, so obviously down would be D, 0.3. That's just adding to it. Now let me see if I can get some words. Everything says variable. I hate that. Oh. All right, now reference outside air temperature is 22. All right, so we come back. Let's go 30. We're already maxed power. I don't know how to set this to TO1, neither over here. So I just run, unfortunately, maxed. However, we are going to run flaps 5 for takeoff. And there's our reference speed. So 124, 127, 135. I guess we'll go with them. We don't really have anything else to go with. So there you have it, folks. The FMC's ready to go. Pretty much so are we. All we have left to do right now I like setting the page up in the middle here. Runway heading. (182). And initial climb out in case we do end up with approach 8,000. Okay. And our takeoff speed setting 135. I'll go +10. All right, we are ready to go. Flight director's on. All right, finishing it up, we'll leave the yaw dampers off. Electric pumps are on. Electric pumps are on. We'll get our demands on. Yaw dampers we'll keep off. I'll kind of show why here in a second. Put our display selector back to coordinates. Okay, let's go ahead and start closing up the plane. Very simple. First off, I like to go to ground, get rid of LSU, get rid of the fuel truck. Don't get rid of the GPU, you'll be out of power. And we'll keep the ACU on for now. Okay, so basically the LSU is the only thing we got, and fuel truck. Come out here to airplane, close the compartments. With them closing, we'll turn on the cargo heat. Passenger signs are on. Cabin altitude control set for the landing altitude. We're going, yes, we should set for Charlotte. I've got it set for Tampa. And our pressure for 2. I use even numbers for that. Since we're on an even day, we'll go to the even number. Equipment cooling, auto. Our cabin chart and dome lights as we so fit. Trim airs are on. Recirculating valves are on. Compartment air is set to auto, as is the cabin temperature. Folks, we are now ready to go. Get our ACARS system up and running. Boom. Not really sure how my flaps got set. All right, let's crank up that APU and get things going. All right, here's how I work this. I always forget which fuel pump it is, but if you do this, it usually, right there, is the fuel pump. I'll just turn it on. It automatically will turn it on, but that way you know for sure it's up and running. All right, folks, and if you'll indulge me, I'm going to get that dinging noise to stop right now.
Ladies and gentlemen, we request your full attention as the flight attendants demonstrate the safety features of this aircraft. When the seatbelt sign illuminates, you must fasten your seatbelt. Insert the metal fittings one into the other. Tighten it by pulling on the loose end of the strap. To release your seatbelt,
there, it'll be running. We'll know when it's done. All right, I believe the APU is up and running. All right. Let's go ahead, turn the generator on. The bleed valve on, get our
Floor level lighting will guide you towards the exit. Doors can be opened
Isolation valves A, B, and C on, which is now hitting the aircraft.
which may also be detached and used as a life raft.
Alright, and we can now turn off, and you'll see the flicker, and that's us coming off the external power. Guess what? We can now get rid of a couple more pieces of equipment.
Place it firmly over your nose and mouth. Secure the elastic band behind your head and breathe normally. All done. The bag does not inflate. Oxygen is flowing into the mask. If you are traveling with a child or someone new.
Alright, and I think we're ready to go, folks. I am just going to connect. Bear with me 1 second. Make sure I get the right call sign. I did this once and had the wrong call sign.
Lean forward with your hands on top of your head and your elbows against your thighs. Ensure your feet are flat on the floor. Life vests are located in a pouch under your seat or between the armrests. When instructed to do so, open the plastic pouch. Remove the vest. Slip it
Okay, so we have an auto squawk of 7162.
To inflate the vest, hold firmly on the red cord. Only when leaving aircraft. If you need to refill the vest, blow into the mouthpieces. Use the whistle and light to attract attention. Also, your seat bottom cushion can be used as a flotation device. Pull the cushion from the seat, slip your arms into the straps, and hug the cushion to your chest. The following electronic devices: smartphones, CD players, laptop computers may be used when the seatbelt sign is off, or when permitted by the crew.
Alright, we'll go here. That turned us on mode C. Go to out. We're ready to go.
We remind you that this is a non-smoking flight. Tampering with, disabling, or destroying the smoke
Okay, let's close up the
detectors installed in
doors.
the lavatories is prohibited by law. You will find this and all the other safety information in the card located in the seat pocket in front of you. We strongly suggest you read it before takeoff. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to ask one of our crew members. We wish you all an enjoyable flight.
Okay, I'm calling better pushback.
Ground to cockpit, please show me where you want to go. Ground to cockpit, tow is driving up.
Alright, we are just about ready to push back, folks. Hope you all enjoyed. Tried to do a little bit accelerated. I don't know if we succeeded. A little bit. And we're ready to go. Hope y'all are having a great day. Thanks for stopping in and being a part of Flying with Mike. We're going to show some... actually, let's go ahead and pull the chocks. Okay, show some of the click spots here that can help you. We're going to just do a quick...
okay, all doors and hatches are closed, ready to connect.
Get a quick altimeter. 2970. Okay, 2970. Okay, let's see if it shows over here. It does. You see this last item, altitude, altitude disagrees with the first officer. So you don't have to go over to that panel and dial it down. This little set screw here will help you out in that. Also, this set screw is toga. So when we're ready to go, we'll punch that to go to toga.
So connected and bypass pin inserted. Release parking brake.
As soon as I get things set up here. And you can see we've been going 57 minutes. All right, and I'm looking for 200. Set that to 400. Now we'll leave it. We'll leave it. It's okay. All right, let's do it. Beacons on. Brakes off.
Starting pushback, and you may start engines.
All right, starting engines in this plane. All right, couple of big things you got to be aware of. Okay, one, you got to turn the packs off. Got to have them off. Man, you got to make sure that APU bleed is on, providing the air. So, packs off. See the air pressure building up. We need it above. Does it say? It does. No, it doesn't say. Then you come up here. We'll start number 2 first. Go to ground. And switch this to engine. And as soon as it crosses that magenta line, which in this plane, folks, is fast, put the fuel on. And make sure the fuel pumps are on, because I don't think, yeah, there it goes. Wow, now it's got to have the fuel pumps on. Okay, used to not have to. Okay, granted, I know the real one would. All right, looks like number 1's fired up, so we'll just go up here, turn engine 1 to ground. Like I said, you see how that builds up way fast.
Operation complete. Set parking brake.
Brake set.
Disconnecting tow. Stand by.
And the flicker will again be generators coming online. All right, we'll release him and continue our setup here. Okay, fuel controls are run. Parking brake, tow truck sent away. All right, let's get up top here and finish this up. All right, engine pumps on. Demands again confirmed on. Left and right packs can come on.
Tow is disconnected and bypass pin has been removed. Hand signal will be on the right. We'll see you next time and have a great flight.
And thanks for pushing back, flying with Mike. We sure appreciate you. All right, bleed is off for the APU. The APU can be switched off, as is the generator. All right, folks, we are now ready to taxi. All we got to do, come down here, set our auto brakes to reject. Taxi lights will turn on. Left and right DME show. Don't show auto yet. Why not? Both flight directors are on. MCP is set. State trim. Okay, this is calling us to 5.8. I really am not a fan of Boeing on this. A lot of guesswork where I like Airbus preciseness. There's a lot we can squibble with between Boeing and Airbus, but you can't deny that one. Flap set 200, range 20. And what we're talking about is right here. Data's on, and radar to weather. All right, we are family. Sorry, folks. Again, couldn't resist that one. Let's do it. Oh, wait a minute. Stand by. We are in common traffic frequency territory. Hang on a second. Tower 118.1. Sorry, it got hung up. All right, so now common traffic is just what it says, folks. Think of it like Unicom here on VATSIM 122.8. We all talk on it. That's what we normally do everywhere else but BAT USA's territory, which, correct me if I'm wrong, is just the 48 contiguous states. I don't think Alaska and Hawaii are included, but if you do it, I don't think you're going to get gigged for it. But anyway, anywhere inside VAT USA, you're supposed to communicate your movements on ground on CTAF, which is what you would do on a small plane anywhere but a controlled facility. Charlotte usually is controlled in the real world. In VATSIM, all depends if Atlanta's up or not or what's going on. I'm going to just double check, and it's not up today. So we announce here, and it's like this. Hang on a second. Oh, we have the flight factor thing going on here. All right. So, in order to transmit, folks, and receive, make sure your microphone is selected, the left side. Make sure your speakers are on and turned up. Otherwise, you're not going to transmit. I'm trying to figure out, why am I not transmitting? Charlotte, common traffic, Piedmont 1161's taxiing to runway 18 left. Charlotte. I can already hear some of you going, you didn't do enough. Yeah, actually I did. All right, and we're not getting into radio procedures because you won't like me. Especially those of you that think the radio is your ticket to Broadway. You have to announce for 10 minutes what you're doing, while the rest of us are trying to sequence in for landing or takeoff. I'm taking the long way home, folks, but that's okay. We'll be down there in no time. And no, this is not the Charlotte scenery. Tried it. It looked like here in X-Plane 12, so it immediately went away. Didn't even look all that great in X-Plane 11, so default looks great to me. When I got my private pilot's license, speaking about radio procedures, it was pretty simple in how you do it. Be as short, sweet, to the point as possible. That's why I am not long-winded here. Not going to tell you how I'm going to get from point A to point B. I'm just going to tell you I'm taxiing. Now, if ground is on, then I have to, because that's a required readback. But at an uncontrolled facility with controlled CTAF, guess what? Piper 8229 Papa, left downwind 18. On, off, next guy can talk. Oh, stop that. All right, folks, we're at the runway. Final checks. Speed brakes off, runway lights, landing lights, MCT. We're getting ready to turn the auto throttle on, and we're out of here. All right, strobers on, lights on. Okay. Auto throttle set. Charlotte traffic, Piedmont 1161 heavy, departing 18 left. Oh, we're into overrun. I did not know that. Assume airport ops would make sure this is FOD free, because usually overruns you never know. Lights on, speed set. Let's go for takeoff, folks. Remember I told you about the toga button? Toga. P1, rotating.
Don't sink.
All right, let's go ahead. Get back on course. Climb 2. And we're going to go ahead and turn the center autopilot on, 182. Direct U-gang. And LMAV. Okay. Maybe. You know, it always does help to hit execute. All right, we're on our way, folks. In our beautiful balloon. Okay, Roger, cleared, flight level 340, Piedmont 1161. And just in case by the time we get down there, 19.5. Not to say a center couldn't come up prior, but you never know. But we're at least set, and flaps are up and up. Okay, we are climbing away. All right, 10,000 lights off. And there you go, folks. We're out of Charlotte. An hour and a half or so out of Tampa. Hope you enjoyed. If you're new to the channel and you did enjoy, smash that follow button. We'd love you to come along. Those of you over on the YouTube channel new to it, if you love it, smash subscribe so we can see you on future videos. We're not doing live broadcasts over at YouTube. That's done here at Twitch. If you'd like to be a part of a live broadcast, down in the About, click Twitch, the link for Twitch. Then down in the About, if we've updated our schedule, which we're in the process of, we'll have the updated schedule there, either in About or over in the schedule itself. All right, folks, it's a beautiful day in the neighborhood. Grab a plane. Let's all head to Tampa. Plenty of places to join us along the way. Jacksonville, Moody Air Force Base, Destin. What else do we have out there? MacDill and what is that? Northwest Florida. The new airport there in Panama City. Pensacola. You also can come up from Miami and Naples. Hey folks, come on, join us. Let's have a great time. Like I said, I won't be able to do a second flight today. I got a lot going on personally. But we'll be back for sure Monday. A lot going on this weekend, so for the Flying with Mike household. So hope you all also have a wonderful weekend. And as you can see, folks, this is that line of storms we saw on Sim Brief, or Sim Toolkit, sorry. That's pretty much them sitting off to our east, and we should be skirting around the backside. All right, we are on our way, crossing into Jacksonville airspace. They are not online. We are gonna break away real quick, use the restroom. Got a couple of other little things we gotta tidy up, but we'll be right back, folks. All right, folks, we're back. Lights are off. Let's see when we are. Okay, we're at 34,000, so we'll go to auto. All right, folks, welcome in. We have just under an hour to get there. There she is in the sky, folks. 603 Papa. Oh, my nose, folks, hang on. All right, back with you. All right, so welcome into Flying with Mike. A little biography, if you will, of me. Back in the early 80s, I got a private pilot's license. Yes, folks, you heard it right, early 80s. So I've been around a while. 1985, though, was my last logged hour due to just a really bad in-class flight check that I really took hard. Real quick on that, folks, those of you in school, if this is the passion, this is what you want to do, get back up on that horse if you have one like me. I really felt like I couldn't fly after that. And there are days when I flying with Mike, I go, how did I get a private pilot's license flying this way? No, then I got to think it's been 30, 40 years ago. So, but anyway, don't let that hold you back. If that is what you want, folks. Get back up on that horse, back in that seat, and learn from your mistakes. Anyway, from there, I joined the Air Force, trying to find direction in my life. Thought I did, but ended up still lost. Went to truck driving. That helped focus me a little, believe it or not, a little, and taught me a lot of life skills. But it wouldn't be until I recommitted my life to Christ that everything became focused. While driving the truck, I did that. Came off the road. While on the road, I did start flight simming back in 99, 2000. Would have been Flight Sim 98 or 2000. I don't remember which one. But that started this long journey into Flight Sim. Been at it. Flight Sim 98 or 2000, like I said, 2002. The best Microsoft Sim to date, Flight Sim A Century of Flight. Sorry guys, only think you're in a good one. Best one was still behind you. FSX, I'll agree with most, wasn't the greatest. Although once your system got up to speed, it wasn't the worst. Prepared, no opinion, never went. And then I stayed with FSX throughout all the years without an update from Microsoft, without having to update my computer, only little updates here and there. It was really kind of nice. And then, of course, we all know in 2020, well, no, we don't know. My computer ran out of memory, not because of FSX, like so many out there like to joke. It physically ran out of memory because I didn't put enough in it. And, you know, you can all laugh at that, but I didn't. It wouldn't even start up. So it had nothing to do with FSX. So many love to joke about that. It wasn't. new computer, I decided I'm done with I was done with Microsoft really just after FSX came in. But there was nothing to go to that I saw worthy. Well, a friend of mine, the moderator here, Hawker125, when he's around, kept pushing, saying, I'll like X-Plane, I'll like X-Plane. The time I dabbled in it, I didn't like it. So that really skewed me in wanting to try it, a new one. Well, I did, X-Plane 11, with the new computer, and was really amazed at how Austin and his team had improved upon what was back in X-Plane 6 or 7. It was pretty awful, folks. I mean, it was we're not even going to try to compare. It was just, and they have now got a spectacular X-Plane 12, beautiful weather. Yeah, we can squibble about some of the dynamics they use, but overall, folks, this is a phenomenal sim. I'm so glad I finally pulled the trigger, did it, and did it with the new computer, and then on top of that, added where I'm streaming and have been for the last 3.5 years. So there you have it, folks. That's where Flying with Mike came from. Still haven't got my private pilot's license. I have it, I just need to get it current. And that also means I need to get the pilot current because everything changed since the 80s. Well, obviously 2001 did a lot to that. But before that, things had evolved just unbelievable. So I definitely want ground school. Probably a few hours with an instructor before we do the biannual. And of course, I get the FAA Pokemon. So, but once I do all of that, I'll be current again. And if you've never done it, folks, if you've sat there on the fence going, gosh, I'd love to try flying. First off, if you enjoy the flight sim, folks, you have no idea what the real airplane is like. We all enjoy our flight simming. It is just phenomenal. The more real you can make it, the better. But nothing replaces the real thing. Nothing. Getting in there, turning that engine over, taking off, getting above the trees, getting up into the folks is just a whole nother world. And I love it. I want to go back to it so much. It's also a very expensive one to be able to do that, even if you have your own. Because that in itself comes with a lot of expenses above and beyond the mortgage. So, but anyway, I highly recommend it. Take your time, learn. It is just amazing. My uncle put it once, he took a hot air balloon. Just a hot air balloon, folks. Ride. And he said once in Houston, Texas, once he got above the trees, how quiet it was. Just tree level, folks. The sound of silence was unbelievable. Airplane, of course, sound of silence is non-existent because that big engine in front or on the wings is loud. Unless you have headsets, and even then, it's loud. But, oh, did I enjoy it. So, but anyway, there you go, folks. There's Flying with Mike in a nutshell. Don't give up on your dreams, those of you in school for flying now, possibly in the military. Don't give up after a bad check ride. Get back in that seat and learn and go forward. And believe it or not, having Christ along with you does help. So, All right, so we are cruising along here. Let's see where we are on the map. Let me zoom down here. We're getting ready to crash MAVRC in our beautiful 767 out of the age of Piedmont. Boy, I'll tell you, I went to high school in Dayton, Ohio, folks. Little town. Well, not a little town. It's fairly significant. Beaver Creek. South, more east side of the city. And boy, I'd go out to Dayton International. Hey, in Music, welcome aboard, sir. And watch Piedmont, this version of Piedmont, not the little puddle jumpers you all know today. This version, the 727s. I'll be honest, I don't remember the 737s there as much as this airline Piedmont virtual claims. I just don't remember them that much. In and out. Funny stories I can tell of that airline there. And life in the 80s, folks, with the airlines. A whole different atmosphere back then. It's just, it kind of cracks me up all the time to see the little nuanced differences that are going on today. So, yeah, the spoke in, spoke out of the hubs was very evident there in Dayton, Ohio. So, and Dayton has changed quite a bit over these years. Holy mackerel. So, but I'll tell you this much, aviation lovers, if you're looking for a place to go, Dayton is the place for you. Not only the birthplace of flight, but I see a screenshot coming. Oh, not the video. There we go. Especially military aviation. They have what's called the Air Force Museum there. And folks, I'm going to tell you, it is hands down. Piedmont, yes, does exist. It is a puddle jump outfit now. They do not fly the 767s now. Just RJs. I don't even know if they even have the Dash 8s anymore. But they were part of U.S. Airways when they all came together. Those parent companies, puddle jump, they're puddle jumpers. Those airlines, PSA, Allegheny, and Piedmont, I think there's another one, but I can't think of it, came together, became U.S. Air. Well, those companies that came together became regional carriers to U.S. Air. And then, of course, American, when U.S. Airways bought out American, they stayed. Whether they're still under the name Piedmont or whether they're under a different name, I don't know. What, you're not familiar with puddle jump? Oh, basically the regionals, they're referred to a lot here as those which just jump the puddles to get to the next place. 1 to 200 mile flights. They would fly with American if they still have Piedmont on them. I know Piedmont eventually would buy out the airline my dad flew with, which was Allegheny, there in Harrisburg. So I'm not 100% sure after U.S. Airways took over American what happened with them. So, but they're still, those puddle jumpers are still flying, folks. Especially if it's turboprop, it's a puddle jump. They don't usually fly here in the States very far. I keep forgetting. Yeah, puddle jumpers are actually mainline airline aircraft in a lot of places. Here, they're just the outlying areas to get you to the main hubs. It was an actual name. Where it was actually based, I don't know, Allegheny. But I know the airline my dad flew was Allegheny with Dash 8s, and they were based in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, close to the Allegheny Mountains. Could have been Pittsburgh they were based at, but his base was in Allegheny. I mean, Harrisburg, Middletown Airport. I need to check something here. 119 miles top of descent. Let's do a quick look ahead here. Dades. We need, okay, we have no restrictions to jackball, which is 6,000 and 230. Okay, so that makes that easy. So will the init ref. We'll just go with that when we get closer. All right, where are we hiding in all of this storminess? Is that us? That's us. Okay. Wow, we actually are in the thick of it. But Allegheny is no longer an airline, but was an airline back in the 70s. I know they had DC-9s. Piedmont did have 767s. They actually did go to Gatwick. I think they went somewhere else in Europe. But the interesting thing is when they go to Europe, a lot of times when they come back, well, they've got a good 4 hours before, 4 to 8 hours before the turn back. So they'll send them down to, like Tampa, back to do it, to keep the plane making money. A quick 2-hour turn is a 4-hour turn if you think about it. And then they're ready to cross the pond again. The big puddle. All right, we are getting some returns off to the east. Let's see. How's it looking? It's actually not looking all that bad, but I don't know what the tops are on these thunderstorms. Ah, the pond. Yes, everyone's favorite body of water to cross. Twice a year, April and October. The October one, everyone looks forward to because they get the 100-knot tailwinds. The April one, they cringe because now there's a 100-knot headwind. Ooh, a little hotter than I thought it would be, that coffee. I used to participate in a lot of the cross the ponds. Then it became so big and hardly any controllers that it just turned into a chit-chat session, which is fine, but nobody could get position reports in. And I just kept flying on. I don't know the actual real-world procedure. If you can't get that report in, how that works. Obviously, if you need a step climb, you're not going to get it. So, but I know they've got new things in place, a lot more controllers in place. So it should be a whole lot different. Plus, when you have that many people on the network, disconnects happen a lot. And that's the shame in it. And I don't know how you get around. I mean, they do the best. I know they beef up a whole lot of things, but ultimately, how do you get around too many people at one time? But it's a fun event, folks. I do recommend those of you thinking about it on the fence about across the pond experience, give it a shot, man. Then do it a couple times without the big event, get used to it, and then come over to the big event. Be ready. There may be software you'll need to help with your position reporting, but which is nice to hear nowadays, but may not. So, and then of course be ready for delays at destination and departure in that event. Way too many people, way too little spots. But if I could just catch it when I'm actually not working, I could be tempted to fly in it. Yeah, it is always best to figure out how to cross. There's some, you got to know some things like how to do a position report and the tracks you're supposed to fly, where to find them, how to use them, and then the infamous step climbs. If you get them, if you don't, and if you don't, you could run into some fuel issues. So. All right, we should get Prague over here one more time. I'd go over here to pull up the weather, folks, but unfortunately, the Flight Factor 767 isn't up to that ability yet. Hopefully it will. I know the A320, you can at least get METARs on. So hopefully it funnels its way over to the 767. Or, if it's there, would someone be so kind as to show me? 270 at 7 for the winds, or for the winds in Tampa right now. Alright, I am going to pull up. Crud, I didn't want to do that. There we go. Alright, so let's look here. Here, I'm going to do it this way. We got 70 miles. Let me just let you see. Alright, so I've got the Dades 1 pulled up. At BAAMF, we just follow this path to Dades, Lizard, out to Jackball, 6,000 at 2:30. Still planning 19 left, unless I've clicked on, hang on, I'll show you what I did. If you have the latest sim tool or sim NavGraph charts, we'll get it right yet. You then have the weather ability. Click the ARR, that is your ATIS currently. Okay, the latest one transmitting, which is 51 minutes ago, gives you a quick synopsis of that weather. ILS approaches, 9 left and 9 right in use. Bird activity, blah, blah, blah. Okay, now if VATSIM had something great, that would mean there's controllers, and as with IVAO and Pilot Edge. However, this is real world, folks, so it's 51 minutes old. Should be updating. Do not anticipate a change. If they do, now I don't know if they'll change it. Reason being, it's either going to go to the 1s or the 19s. So, we'll have to see. I'm going to go ahead and continue to plan 19 left. Just so you're all aware. 19 left is the shorter of the two, 8,300 feet. If we get what we want, we'll get stopped by Delta. If not, we'll roll through 28 to Charlie 3, taxi back. I'll be honest, I don't know where Piedmont would have parked. We'll just plan on the A air side. What the heck? I really don't know where they would have parked there. I mean, worst case scenario, you could just interpolate where American parks today. And I don't know off the top of my head where that is. All right, so we'll just plan then coming in on Buck's promise to the runway. ILS is 110.3, and we'll get all of that set up right now. 51 miles. So let me get down here, get that set up. I believe we said 110.3. What? Oh, excuse me, folks. 187. Yeah, no, I went. Doesn't really matter when you're going this way. 187. This, by the way, folks, is your ILS setup. Your everything else is pretty self-explanatory. COM 1, COM 2, COM 3, or as they like to say, left VHF, right VHF, center. Have a hard time calling that center. So, just me. But left, right, center. And then, of course, your actual nav devices right here, which are on auto right now, and they're tuning to whatever's nearby. All right. F is 19 to go. Got a lot of rain ahead of us, folks. But over here where I've... Oh, I know what I did. I put that on plan. There we go. Now we're getting the readout for what's below us ground-wise. So easy to do in this plane, folks. In this simulated version, the real plane, it's not as bad. Especially since you do have someone sitting in that chair right next to it. All right, so we are set up for the approach. Concourse F. Oh, thank you there, sir. Oh, so it'll be this one. Okay, that'll work. Even if we overshoot, we'll just come up to J to J2 and park in here. Cool. I am only assuming that's where it would be, folks. One, I have no idea where US Air parked. And then two, before the formation of US Air, where Piedmont would be. But American's probably the best bet to figure out. It's a good spot to park. And also, I'm going to ahead of time say, I'm just going to look. Instead of speculate, I'm pretty sure I have not loaded any scenery for Tampa here. And I was correct. No Tampa extra scenery. So, now I do have it in X-Plane 11, and I've been told what I loaded in X-Plane 11 should be compatible with X-Plane 12. I sometimes like to just show what X-Plane 12 has for you. And if you want to improve it, that's on you. All right, there's BAAMF, and we're about 20 miles out from top of descent. You can see it right here. And that is one thing I like about Boeing. Now, don't get me wrong. Airbus shows this stuff. It can sometimes be a little tricky finding it. You're going to get an arc when we start our descent showing you where that should end if you broadened it out enough. I'm going to try something here. See how that does. Okay, that helped. I just tilted the panel down a little bit on the radar. Folks, I never operated. Ooh, God. Okay, resetting to 6,000. Now, if ATC was on, they might say differently. All right, so now we can actually talk about this. Okay, this is one where LDS, you used to be able to push this to start your descent. 737, you have altitude intervenes. You don't have that here. And speed intervenes. So you have two options. If you, and I don't believe there's a different FMC for flight factor like there is with the 737. So there won't be one that just says VNAV. But if there is, and you're flying one, click VNAV and get to the descent page. We'll just click descent. Now, some of these FMCs will say forecast, click forecast to put your transition level in. Now you've got descent now, and that's what I'm going to do. We're within 10. Down we go. There's the famous glide path, and we're starting our descent. Sorry about that, folks. Had a little coughing spell. Oh, in between these strong storms we had 2 days ago, and now trying to recover from them with nice tranquil weather. Oh, kills my my nose has just been in solid terrain. So, all right, so we're hitting that top of descent point. We should see it steepen now, or here shortly. All right, it shows us about 20 minutes out. So as we start down, let's get the seatbelt signs back on, wing lights on, and we'll keep the cabin lights down so people can relax till about 10,000 feet, and then we'll get them so they can stir. But again, folks, just want to say thank you for being a part of Flying with Mike today. I wish we could do a second flight, especially since we were able to get airborne pretty quick this morning. Just way too much this afternoon to risk not being available for it. So, that's okay, though. We'll be back in the sky Monday for sure. Hopefully, let me rephrase that. Hopefully, Monday. And for another fun flight. Like I said, next week I plan to hit places like Cyprus, Salt Lake City, and I don't remember the other one. Oh, that was a nice little lightning shot right there, folks, if you didn't catch it. Right off in here. Oh, it's like my whole body's drying out. Oh, there's some more good lightning over there to the left. So, nice storms. Yeah, we've been kind of cutting through it. If you look at Similar and you find Piedmont, PAI, by the way, 1161, we just cut through a pretty, it's nice and red, some bow echoing, so pretty good set of storms headed for the Jacksonville, Daytona Beach area. The stuff that was lingering around Tampa seems to be dissipating, which is always nice. And yeah, it's really coming along nice there. All right. Concourse F. It's always kind of neat because if you look at Similar, you'll see the Jacksonville area getting ready to get storms. But if I bring Sim Toolkit on, hasn't changed much. This line is like right here now. So I don't know how they update and all, but that, you know, always kind of interests me. So, especially from the days when I used to fly with Active Sky. That, folks, was a phenomenal program back in the Century of Flight early FSX days, and then I just, money got real tight in the family here and couldn't keep it up to date. So I got to pay full price again for it. Air Hangunger, welcome in. Such a lovely aircraft. Here, we'll show you. That's not the good side. Ooh, but that is. Wow. Nice. And like I said, folks, this one, I'm not certain how many airlines still fly the Dash 200 version of the 767. I think there's a couple cargo guys that do, but the 300s are the ones you're most likely to see. Boy, that's a real active cell next to us. Oh, we got someone in the background kicking up a contrail. All right, let me check speeds and all. We're looking good. I am going to go ahead and try and see how we're doing descent-wise. Ooh. I may have to ease up on it. You know, I think I saw something. I didn't know it was instant, or did I? I think I saw something about that on the news. I don't think they said where it was, but they might have, and I just don't remember. Awesome, that is true. It wasn't FedEx, was it? For some reason, FedEx is what comes to mind. And, all right, let's see here. It was FedEx. Yeah, for some reason, I want to say that's, yeah, who it was, yeah. All right, so let me see where we are on the arrival. Edison. We can get to Dades and Lizard before, at or around 6,000, I'm okay. Anything earlier, we're going to have to lighten it up. I'm thinking by MAVRC. It's always so hard to tell because I'm wanting that line to be here. I'm going to go ahead and take over. Okay, that'll get us to Lizard. I think that's a good descent rate right there. We'll kind of monitor. Okay, we just crossed 18,000. 8 minutes ago, it became 2993. Oh, we never changed. All right, we're just batting 1,000. We never did the transition. I think we're set 40 right now. All right, so we are currently about 15-20 minutes out of Tampa. Now would be a good chance, folks, if you'd like to put a prediction in. The word, first off, the exclamation point, followed by the word predict, space and a negative number, get you in the running, just like you see the one I did. But that's if you want, folks. There's no prizes, no nothing for who gets the closest. We're gonna run brakes at 3. Let's go ahead and set up our approach speed. 125, flaps 30. Again, double checking. 110.3. 187, that's good. All right, we're slowly working our way in, folks. All right, again, this is a lot easier to see than a little hockey stick, but this is giving you a general idea where 6,000 feet will be. Hence why I've adjusted our vertical speed. And if we had ATC, of course, they would be doing intermediate stepping down through the different sectors. All right, let's see what we can do with this radar. See if that helps. The nice thing about flight factor, yes, the greens, the reds, but the problem is it still gets difficult to use when you're just sometimes difficult. And I'm sure you guys that are used to the radars know how to work it. I don't. I've never had radar on a plane. So, other than flight sims. So, never flew a Piper Arrow, Archer, or Warrior with one, nor a Cessna 172, or actually the 152s that I did fly too. So, usually too heavy on that wing. The reason it's on the wing is there's nowhere in the nose to put it. So, let's prepare for landing here, shall we? All right, we're about to pass 10,000 feet. That's when the landing lights come on. I'm going to go ahead and turn them on now. Okay, lights are on. Make sure the seat belts are on. Wing, and now time to bring up the cabin lights. So people can mill about and find their things without hitting things. Okay, now you can really get a good look here, folks. See where that arc is right at Dades? I mean, I could lessen this descent a little more. However, I do really need to get us slowing down, so I will. Okay, and as soon as we get back on it, then I'll start us descending. Okay, we'll go to about 1,000 feet a minute. That'll get us turning off of Dades towards Lizard and then Jackball, and then into our arrival, folks. What a fun flight this, folks. Piedmont Virtual is a really good airline. They, the Piedmont Virtual folks, oops, oh, I did get it right. They're historical. So they're flying the Piedmont of old, back in the late 80s, early on 90s, because in the 90s, that's when US Air came to be. Again, as I said in the beginning, they along with Allegheny Airlines and PSA Airlines, and again, for some reason, I think PSA was in Dayton, but I know that probably wrong. But anyway, those three came together to make US Airways. Well, while they were still separate airlines, Piedmont, the bigger of the three, had 767s that would fly to Gatwick. I want to say they might have went to Paris and Frankfurt. Don't quote me on those two. I do know Gatwick for sure. But then they would also take those 67s from Charlotte to LA, Charlotte to Tampa. Uh, and then the 727 and 737 fleet. I still think in the Dayton area, the group went overboard on the 737-200s. I don't remember seeing them that much. That doesn't say much, folks. We're talking 80s. So that really is very hard to quantify. Although I was out there quite a bit. I loved going to Dayton Airport. It was so cool to watch them swarm in, then spoke out. It was so cool. CTWA come in from St. Louis, New York, Chicago. See some of the others, it was so cool to be out there. But U.S. Air formed. Dayton slowly became a more regional outlet, not a like it was prior. But it's really cool, Piedmont. They also fly airlines like Pan Am. They also fly. I don't know if they still do BAAMF. They may have dropped them. But a lot of those historical ones, they have a group. Ansett in Australia. Oh, I forget all of them. But if you come on board, I want you to be reading the manual, reading their doctrines, because folks, they like to fly as real as possible. And I don't mean that as a flight sim slogan. Come aboard and fly as real as you can with flight sim. No. They take it a next level up. They look for landing rates at a certain level. They look at how you are on your approach. They're pointing you on all of these, and then potentially rejecting your PIREP. Got to do one every 45 days, I believe it is. So if you get one rejected, so long as it's not completely rejected, where they throw it out of the system, you're still good. But again, I want you to be forewarned before you get really mad, because some people I would have in the past kind of gotten upset. So, but and they're very particular. You fly the right tail number, the right colors on it. They're just very particular. So make sure you're understanding what you're getting into. But if you get past that and say, go for it, folks, they're great. They're fun to fly with, great technology, obviously, to be able to delineate all of that stuff. And then they have some sister airlines, Virtual American, Virtual United, Spirit, Easy. I'm forgetting one. But anyway, check them out, folks, if you're going to. But again, be warned. All right, folks. We are very close to turning in on our ILS. Going to get out here to Jackball. I'm actually going to go ahead and set us here. So when we hit Jackball, we can make that turn. And then prepare to bring it in. Jackball is 6,000. ILS Bucks is 3,000. So we'll be ready for our descent here at Jackball. Hope you've enjoyed the 767, a little bit of nostalgicness, the little bit that I know of them. Could be a runway change in progress at Charlotte. Nope, still on the 1/8. My bad. Just noticed you're going to be taking off with a tailwind now. All right. We're on heading select. We're going to go ahead and begin our descent. Let's go to 220 on speed. Start turning us for the intercept. Okay, localizer's alive, potentially, but I don't think it is, folks. The localizer. Oh, don't think our glide slope is just yet. Okay, here we go, folks. We need to get this thing back down into... This is one thing about the 767 I'm not liking a lot, is it is sometimes hard to get it to slow down. But in 300 feet, we'll level off and that will slow us. Okay, localizer is captured. All right, we're in a rainstorm. Go figure that one, folks. Ah, still nothing showing that it should be raining here. Oh well. Par for the course. All right, flaps 5. And by the way, Bucks, folks, will be 10 miles out. So between Bucks and Palmas, we'll let the gear down. Right now I'm going to slow to 160. Thinking I've got the runway, but that cloud over it is making it... Yeah, I think I have the runway. Let me get the speed under control. Okay. VNAV, okay, speeds, lights, nose gear, speed brakes. We're ready. MCP's landing, gears down, 3 green. Flaps going to the next setting of, I believe 15, or no, 20, and then 25 will be next. Okay. We're looking for 130. Flaps 25. And Palmas, we're going flaps full. All right, folks, we are ready for the approach. Okay, airplane's mine. How's that wind? Okay. Barely got the pappies in sight, but I see them. Okay, let me flip over to common traffic. Tampa traffic, Piedmont 1161 heavy, short final 19 left. Flaps full, gear 3 green. All right, here we go.
Minimums. 100. 50, 40, 30, 20, 10.
Well, we made the land and hold short. Tampa traffic, Piedmont 1161's off on taxiway November to the F terminals. All right, let's get the radar off. Okay, after landing, speed throttle, AP auto throttles are off. Flight directors can now go off. And speed brake tracked. And right off there in the straight ahead distance, folks, is where we're headed. Again, hope you enjoyed. It was a fun flight. We'll get into all the metrics here in a minute to win it, and we'll even find out if anyone else joined the landing rate pool. And auto brakes, speed brakes, auto brakes are off. APU's on, taxi lights, transponder, and flaps are up. Now that makes me wonder if I have scenery. I I don't think I do, unless I see a train moving. I don't think we do. And those curious, I'm just going out to be able to watch somebody coming in for the right side. We'll take one of these outer terminal, one of these gates out here. I think we'll take 83A. No, 82 looks good. All right, we're just easing our way in here, folks. All right, parking brake is set. Head up here, get that APU gen on. Bleed air on. And check that transponder down here. All right, parking brakes, engine selectors to off. And that flicker again was the APU generator coming on. Okay, we are in. Let's just put some chocks in real quick. All right, sad thing here, folks. Really no razzmatazz with the objects. You'll see here the LSUs just pop in. And oh, I meant to. Yeah, the only thing you're going to see, folks, will get that opening, but are the doors coming up. That's it. They used to drive in, drive out. Not anymore. It just pop in, pop out. All right, folks, we are on the ground at Tampa. We'll kind of keep an eyeball that way. We'll watch him come in on 19 right. Like Orlando, I don't know which one did this first. You have a little railroad system connecting the different terminals from the main terminal. So it's kind of cool. It's like a monorail, I want to say. Been a while, but it's a lot like it. That's what's cool about some of the sceneries out here, folks. They actually have those trains going back and forth. Again, that little bit, if you're into the eye candy, it's neat to see. Is it going to affect your flight? Not a chance. All right, so let me do this real quick. And all right, I'm just closing out charts. Oh yeah, let's go ahead and file our PIREP. They got us at 267 feet a minute. Not bad. Actually, that I kind of would like to say I kind of in agreement with them. See if they gigged me on anything else. Dashboard. Nope. Everything looks good. 220 points for the flight. Good deal. All right. He gone. Let's see where he really is. He ought to be emerging here soon, right out here, folks. I believe it's Delta. Yeah, it's a Delta flight. I think they might park here or over there, so I'm not, or there might be another one right behind there. But anyway, a real quick recap here. Really a bad day with it. Wow. Ah, there's Delta in the distance. Yeah, I've hit pretty hard too with this. Now, interesting. The MD-11, there was a video out there, Hawker says is no longer out there for copyright. But the MD-11 was known for some hard landings. It was something, either a design something. That's why a lot of the airliners just got rid of it, and the cargo companies, for a great price, gobbled them up. And they got through them, and they land pretty decently with them. So I don't know what the issue, I can't remember what the video stated. But let's watch. Let's put the pressure on. Well, from our vantage point, looked really good. Nice job there, Delta 1049. All right, so let's get back to our flight, shall we? I'll leave it on VATSIM here for just a little longer. He should. Yeah, he'll come off at the next one. All right, well, we're going to be putting Sim Toolkit up there. All right, folks, so as you can see, Sim Toolkit put us in at 424 feet a minute, 139 knots, which yeah, Huh, interesting. Yeah, the MD-11 really was a great concept. I think that just had a lot of problems. The cargo boys, though, boy, they loved that plane. And while they did have some hard landings that made the news, um, uh, that ended up in crashes, um, they were able to overcome some of it. So who knows what that actually was. All right, looking here, let's go ahead and finish the flight so we can get to the logbook page. There's our flight. I'm going to have to go in there and check this. Oh, I know why, because Piedmont doesn't have that. Here's our routing real quick. Pretty simple, straightforward. View details. So it was an hour and a half long in the air, folks, 442 miles, 5,500 kilograms of fuel. Landed at 424 feet a minute at 1.4 Gs. Overall, not bad. 139. I think that's pretty close to where they wanted us. I knew I came in a little hot. All right, well, we touched down, it looks like two. Oh no, we were a little long. Okay, that's what I thought. I was like, that'll be odd. Um, Here's where you're supposed to land, anywhere forward of that blue dot. Obviously, you don't see the dot. It's the end of the runway threshold line. It's 8,300 feet by 150 feet, so right smack 8 feet off the center line. That's great. 1,500 feet down the runway, as you can tell. Pretty much where everybody sets them down at. All that deep black right there. So that's really good. Over here, difference, everything looks good. I know we had a little bit of a crosswind to contend with. Metrically, it looks pretty good. Let's see if we can find him. All right, so he's going to be behind the building. All right, well, we're going to go ahead and come off VATSIM, because if you don't, folks, and you go into the reverse mode, guess what? It takes you offline anyway. And I'm going to go ahead, button the aircraft up. I'm not sure if it was this one or we don't need GPS chocks. LSU, ACU, and doors closed. One of them, the aircraft doors stayed open, so. All right, and then I'll go ahead and do this. All right, let's see if we'll get her to go into replay mode. So far, so good. Looks like we're going to get to replay it. Yeah, we had the spoilers up quite a bit of the way down. All right, folks, let me find some appropriate music. All right, gears down. By the way, St. Pete Airport's somewhere right over there, MacDill down that way. That actually was not a bad landing, folks. Let's watch him one more time. Flare was pretty decent, a little early, but let's give Hawker his favorite view. Nice landing, nice indeed. All right, let's look at it again from the other side. Wow. Pretty nice for the flight sim. All right, folks, that was a spectacular landing. I really like it. Oh, too far. Hang on. Let's see how it looked. Oh, we'll go from this side first. Tell you, would love to have the houses right there. More than likely businesses, but I would love if there's houses to be there. Most would say, oh, you really? Yeah, really. Not a bad landing. All right, let's see how it looks out the other side toward the terminals. Nice. All looks good, folks. All looks good. We're going to look at it one more way. And it's a way that usually, if the tower doesn't get in the way, never gives a bad landing. Unless, of course, you decide to crash. But every landing is technically a controlled crash. Look at that. Oh, nice. Little bouncity bounce, but you know what? That is not bad, folks. Nice flight in the 767-200 from Flight Factor. It's not the greatest version, not the worst version I've flown. LDS is probably one of the better I've flown. Folks, I want to thank you so much for being with us today. This Friday for most, and I hope you all have a great weekend. Monday, we're going to be back at it. I'll give you a little preview of what's coming. I've kind of teased it along. Hang on, let me scroll a little. Here we go. Monday, like I said, we're going to Cyprus. There in Europe, Asia, you call it. In the NEO, we're going to be going to Salt Lake City in the Rotate MD-11, folks, out of Denver. And the 737 that we flew into Copenhagen, well, we're going to fly up to a place called Bergen. Never heard of it before, other than I know Spyflight flies there quite a bit. I'm going to go see what it looks like. And we're going to do it in the Zibo 737 Norwegian Air Charters colors. So I hope you all join us. I'll give you that rundown here in just a second again. I'm going to go ahead and put us back on the spot. Hang on a second and back. Get that pulled in. And put my left foot out. Put your left foot in and all right, so we'll put the LSUs back to work. The chocks, the GPU, the ACU. Says, there we go. And we'll open up the airplane here, 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 and here. All right, folks, sorry about that. Just want to get a nice outgoing picture of the animal that brought us into Tampa. The 767-200. All right, next week, one more time, folks, Monday. We're going to be flying into Cyprus in one of the Neo aircraft. In Wednesday, if all goes as planned, we will be flying from Denver to Salt Lake in the MD-11 for Delta. And Thursday, Copenhagen over to Bergen, Norway. Never been there. Spy Flight has. We'll see what's there. Never knew of this place. So we'll see what it looks like. Be my first trip. He's been there probably 1,000 times. So, but anyway, folks, that's what's coming next week. We'll have the schedule posted here shortly. I really hope you all have a great day, great weekend. Be safe out there, and we'll see you next week. God bless you all. Have a great weekend. We'll see you Monday.